South Africans, when are we going to start fighting for our country? When are we going to start joining the movements like Dudula, Action SA, March and March, joining Zandile, joining Victoria Africa, fighting for our country? When are we going to stop posting useless videos on social media instead of us standing up and supporting these movements? These foreigners, they are here to stay. I'm going to share some clips whereby these foreigners claiming to be South Africans. These foreigners claiming to have rights in South Africa. They are saying Africa is for all foreigners. South Africa it's Africa.
You know, Zimbabweans, they so much want to be South Africans. I've never seen people with no pride. But for them, I'm Nigerians, and they're going to be taking surnames of South African ladies. I've never seen people with no pride. They want to be South Africans by hook or crook because they've messed up their own countries. You know,
but they are fighting our government here in South Africa. South Africans, can we please support these movements? Can we please start support? I'm going to share some clips whereby you'll see these foreigners fighting with their eyes red, full of anger.
Yes, I want to go. I'm waiting for UN. They must come. I'm sick and tired for this country. I'm suffering a lot. I want to go. I want to go.
What is government South Africa? What is the
Where is
Mandela's government?
They hate us. Can we please start supporting these movements? I saw that today in Joburg, the ruling, I heard someone say the ruling has favored us as South Africans. So can we please continue to support our government, our city of Joburg, whereby they enforce our laws?
Sorry, I feel that anger, that's the hatred. Because what happened yesterday is the 5th xenophobic attack in South Africa. Because that was done by the government. Because that is inhumanity that I saw with my eyes yesterday.
Our country, fighting for the future generations to come. Can we please unite and fight against this thing of foreign nationals? They are fighting our own government in South Africa.
See what they are doing with us. You can see the way they are treating us.
They are saying our laws are useless. They are not binding by our laws. They want to do as they please. Youth of South Africa, the future is in our hands.
I am in Soweto in Johannesburg with some anti-migrant protesters. This is the final day before the unofficial June 30th deadline for undocumented migrants to leave South Africa. And they've been walking around these streets, some of them singing songs celebrating Zulu pride and asking undocumented migrants to leave South Africa. They insist that they're not xenophobic, they're not Afrophobic. They want South African law to be respected. And they feel, some of them told me, that African migrants have taken over South Africa. They're criminals, that they are damaging their country. And it's time for them to go back and fix their own countries. The government says these people have a right to march and protest, but not to violence and intimidation. Many African migrants who are seeking to flee South Africa fear for violence, they fear for their lives, even though South Africa has assured them that they will be safe. Several African countries are repatriating their citizens, including Zimbabwe, Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria, and Mozambique.
Threats of violence and anarchy cannot be acceptable. The law must be enforced by the state, not by mobs, not by vigilantes, and not by politicians who stoke hatred for votes. Now is the time for SAPS and the criminal justice system to step up and enforce the law without fear or favor. Every mayor, every premier, every minister, every law enforcement agency has a duty to prevent violence.
Yazi, I am yet to see legal Nigerians and Zimbabweans in South Africa take responsibility or talk to their Nigerian and Zimbabwean brothers. They do not want to hold their brothers accountable. They do not want to hold their Nigerian and Zimbabwean brothers accountable. They are keeping quiet about South Africa, about the fact that their brothers are coming into South Africa in numbers, staying here illegally, using our resources illegally, and they're quiet about it. That is very disrespectful. That is very weird. And I do understand why South Africans saying that, legal or not, all foreigners must go. Because some of them are here in South Africa legally, but they are not acting in the interest of South Africa. They are quiet. They don't want to talk about what their brothers are doing to our country. Why is that? And then you're going to call us xenophobic for confronting things that you should be talking to your brothers about. You're going to call us xenophobic. You're going to call us self-hating Africans. How about as legal Zimbabweans and legal Nigerians and legal Mozambicans in South Africa, how about you confront what your brothers and sisters are doing in this country? But you're not going to do that because you don't care.
Unemployment rate in South Africa, it's too high. We have unemployed professionals in this country. We have unemployed doctors in the country who are sitting at home doing nothing. But we have doctors who are foreign nationals. It cannot be correct. Can we prioritize our own people first before we go get skills elsewhere? Yes, we do have a scarce skill list, which is a critical list, but not all the doctors that are helping our people at the healthcare facilities are bringing anything special that a South African cannot do. So why don't give our own South Africans the chance, and then we can start outsourcing? I mean, it's illegal what they're doing. If you have an unemployed doctor who is a South African and you have a foreign national who's employed at the hospital, it cannot be correct. And that goes to education as well. We have so many teachers who are foreign nationals, yet we have unemployed teachers. It cannot be correct. We have people that are working in restaurants. That's not critical skills. Any South African can do that. Why do we have foreigners occupying those spaces? Our kids. I was in Eddington a few months ago, fighting for South African kids to be admitted in that school. Yes, it was won, but it's not the only school that has issues. We still have more children who have been admitted in schools far away from home. But yet we have foreigners who are occupying these schools who just live around them. It cannot be correct, guys. That's why I'm saying we are going back to the streets and we're coming harder now. Because that's where we belong.
South Africa and xenophobia. Are South Africans xenophobic? Well, absolutely not, guys. There is nothing wrong with wanting your government to put you first. Currently, I'm in the UAE in Dubai, and I've seen here that the local people are treated very nice by everyone and respected. Why? Because their government puts them first. They get free healthcare, education, and so forth. And in fact, you never see any one of them really suffering, at all, And in fact, in this country, should I say, one can never own a business without having a local on board. In fact, you cannot even buy property. You can lease it for 20 years, 99 years, but you cannot buy land in this country because it belongs to the people of this country. And it's not only in the Middle East. I've seen it happen in other places, like in Asia, like in Indonesia, for example. You cannot buy land there as well unless you're a local person. And in fact, if you go around and you see a lot of these jobs, especially the so-called unskilled labor, everything is taken by someone who's from Indonesia, guys. Go to China, guys, and you'll never see illegal, undocumented foreigners owning a whole street full of shops. That doesn't happen. The one who's really at fault over here, to be honest with you, I think is the South African government, because they have failed to have border control, to enforce their own laws. And it's not because they don't have money, it's not because they don't have the means, it's because they're corrupt and they don't care. Now, I myself was born in South Africa, in Soweto. I grew up there, lived there most of my life, but I'm actually Congolese, because both of my parents are from Congo. And I wish the Congolese government could also put Congolese people first. And you guys should also wish and hope and work towards having your own governments and presidents put you guys first, because that's just how it is in other parts of the world, and that's how it's supposed to be. I know a lot of people have said, yeah, but what about the white people? They're scared. Let's face it. A lot of illegal immigrants and foreigners live amongst black people. I don't see them mostly living in places like Constantia and so forth. In general, I'm speaking in general. Some of them have tuck shops and little stores and spazas in the township, and they're selling expired goods that these people's kids are actually eating and, getting sick afterwards. So obviously, after years and years of people bringing up these grievances, obviously they'd be fed up. Now, as far as beating up people, looting stores and breaking things down, well, obviously that's wrong. Crime is crime any place in the world. This march and march thing that's going on, guys, it's very, very, very valid. And to call someone xenophobic, I believe, is just dismissive. It's like saying whatever your grievances, your experiences, your bad experiences, who cares? You're just being xenophobic and in some cases racist and stupid, and you need to go to school. Guys, it's not supposed to be like that. In other parts of the world, you can never buy land. It belongs to the local people. In fact, here in the UAE, in order to start up a business, no matter where you're from, you could be from the USA, Romania, Angola, whatever, there must be a local person involved. You see how the government takes care of their own people. And the rest of Africa needs to follow suit, to be honest. This is the only way, as a whole continent, people are going to respect you. It starts with each and every country respecting their own citizens, and then we can now start talking about the African Union and the continent and so forth.
Take a part of this man. This is an undocumented foreigner, this one. He's taking our jobs. He's raping our children.
We've seen that there's a lot of illegal immigrants who are operating here in the streets, but what they do, they throw their stuff all over. So as a community, as a citizens, we then decide that we must plan a cleaning up campaign today. So this is the reason why we came here.
You know, there's been a High Court judgment where the judgment said categorically that no person or group like Operation Dudula, like March on March, may intimidate, harass or assault any individual that they identify as a foreign national. So this is unlawful and the police have to act. How do they know who's documented, who's not undocumented? It's racial profiling and all of this, it makes it inhumane, let alone unlawful.
That 600 million create jobs for our youth, do funding for our entrepreneurs, because of our government says like, oh, 30 June, if you're going to chase illegal foreigners, if you're going to chase Indians, Palestinians, Nigerians, Malawians, we are going to have a war. Our own government, ANC government, that our forefathers died, that means our forefathers died for foreigners in South Africa. Why that 600 million they don't give South African youth? They don't fund scholarship, they create scholarship, they do everything, then they put someone there, a South African. Yeah? But they say like, we are going to move it forward. They think South Africans are afraid to die for this country. We died for it. It's going to be the history on 30 June, like 16 June. The youth of South Africa died because of the government is choosing foreigners, illegal foreigners or foreigners in this country, and they want to make their own people slavery. This government is useless.
Brother, I have a question for you today. Do you think South Africans are lazy, or do you think South Africans just lack opportunities?
South Africans lack opportunities. There are very scarce opportunities are very scarce in our country, as you can see. Unemployment rate is too high.
Yeah.
And learnerships, when they are there for only period of 6 months. Others are there for a year. And those people who are on learnerships, most of them, they are not being employed by those companies who took them to the learnerships.
Oh.
So up to so far, you can see crisis is too high. Our country, we are facing serious challenges.
Sure.
You see.
Now, what do you think we can do as South Africans? What do you think we can do better as South Africans? For the people that are struggling, because majority of people, they say, I have the matric, I have the degrees, I went to the internship, but I'm still not getting the job.
Systemically, we need to change our system, my brother.
Sure.
Our system, somehow, I don't know, I want the correct word, but I think it's poor. More especially going to labor departments. Most companies, more especially private companies, are employing
foreign people, and whereby those people are not registered with the Department of Labor, whereby they don't contribute for the UIFs. So you see, that's why we face those crises. So I think the whole system needs to sit down and try and change those kind of challenges, such as that Labor Department. We need to double check and verify those companies who are registered with the Labor Department. There are companies who are subcontracting on the tenders, and then when checking their background, they are not registered with the Department of Labor. So we want benefit if the companies are not registered with the department, whereby they do not contribute with SARS, a lot of things. When checking, example, more especially on the security industry, I've experienced that also. From companies that they end up liquidating their companies, whereby workers, they don't even get the cent, even when those things are liquidated. So you can see that it's going to be more and more difficult, whereby you were employed by a certain company and that company doesn't even care for you. You can't go even to Labor Department and claim for a UIF whereby you are not registered.
You see, my brother, now to your brother and your sister, as South Africans that are sitting at home hopeless and they listen to the message, what would you like to encourage them with, my brother?
My brother, we need to work hard and try and do something for ourselves. Not depend on the government. You understand? Yes, we can see the government or the system doesn't even meet us halfway. They do say that they give out learnerships or they take interns or what. But those things, at the end, you can see that person went for that internship for a year. Next year, he's not working. You see, most people are sitting down with qualifications. I even have qualifications, but check where I'm working. It's the security industry. So you see, you ended up losing hope that will there ever be change? As you can see for now, our system, the whole system is busy sitting now for that commission. What is the ad hoc commission? You can see those people are only thinking for themselves. They don't consider us. You see, if those people couldn't do those things, I think our economy would be in a better shape. If they were assisting us or meeting us halfway, we would be in a better space. So I will advise my sister and my brother sitting at home to try and push more and work hard for themselves, create businesses for themselves.
To ask the justice system to hold such kind of acts, into serious accountability with the law, because we can't continue with this. We have tolerated it enough, and enough is enough.
Are there specific areas in the country that you think are hotspots for where Batsonga Mashanani face the alleged persecution that you're speaking about in tribalism?
One of the most that has reached, that has reached a stage where we have actually said it's time we stand up. It's, the issues that happened in Mossel Bay. We have lost a young man called Nhlamulo Sambo. We have had several people. It's all over the social media, where
And I do want to. I'm glad you bring the case of Nhlamulo on, because that has been a very interesting case in that when it first surfaced, there were allegations of tribalism or tribalism related. And then when investigations happened, we spoke to here on the Late Edition, the community policing forum in the area to get clarity around what's happening in the Giyani informal settlement in Mossel Bay pertaining to the death of Nhlamulo. And they said that there was no evidence that it was tribalism or tribalism related. How then do we take an instance like that and use your organization? How do you use a case like that as an example of the tribalism you speak of, when the very people in the community said, well, we don't actually have evidence to it?
Look, I think the central focus was just the issue of Nhlamulo in that particular instance, but we have not heard the police comment on the other cases of several people that we have. 17 of them, I have their IDs on our phone. They are from the villages of Giyani, Malamulele, and such, and they have been saying that this thing is also affecting us in the area. And you must remember that
the march was happening from the 29th, and if I remember, if my memory serves me well, Nhlamulo died on the 30th. It was just in the time of those marches that were happening there. Fine, if you say there is no issue of tribalism, there are other people that are from Limpopo that their shacks were banned in that similar community. So you see some days it's selective response when you respond to one matter to diffuse the perspective of the people around the area. But there is clear evidence everywhere of tribalism. We are not hearing the other issues that happened in the area being answered.
Just the last question. Well, I want to ask you this. We know that Batsonga people and Mashangani people, while like I said earlier, have a shared history, there are some level of differences, right? However minute those differences might be, whether you go to Giyani or Pushpak Ridge, you'll find those differences to exist, right? Your organization presents as one that stands with one voice, representing all Batsonga and Mashangani people in South Africa. Where do you draw your legitimacy from as an organization?
Look, like any other tribe, the Xhosas have Hlubis.
Sorry, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm asking, why didn't this go through, say, tribal authorities first, rather than a civic organization like yourself?
We actually did have a conversation with tribal authorities. We have support of different chiefs, of different villages. We've spoken to tribal authorities. So we do have the backing of leaders of tribal authorities from Bushbuck Ridge, from Limpopo, in Giyani, and in Tzaneen. So we did, of course, go through that. But I wanted to clarify that the Batsonga Machangani, it becomes difficult when we must explain ourselves. Xhosas have Hlubis, they have Impondos, but they are called Xhosas. Pedis, they have Balobedu, they have Atoka, they are Pedis. They are united as one. So we believe in the Tsonga nation, it must be the same. When I was growing up, I was calling myself Mtsonga Mchangani, Ntukulo Slugana Ngungunyan. There was never a confusion about that. It can be thoroughly assessed when it comes to South Africa, to Tsongas. Let's stick to people coming legal or not coming legal. The tribal issue of Tsonga and Changani, it's a different conversation. I'm born here, Tsonga and Changani. And that is the conclusion that this conversation must end in. But I wanted to also respond on...
Very briefly.
Yeah, briefly. Nhlamulo, we don't believe that the murder case is what it's being said out there. Because if whatever that is said about him is indeed true, they should have arrested him. They should not have murdered him. I don't think in South Africa when someone is suspected of a crime, they must be killed. There's laws for that. He should have been arrested. Sure. So we believe he was killed because it's a Mtsonga Mchangan, and that is why it is the center stage of our revolution as a movement. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much. Wanle Malulega, thank you so much for your time. Paul Agiazo, thank you so much for your time as well. They represent the Batsonga Mashangani South Africans movement, handing over a memorandum of complaints to...
So this is a video of a Nigerian guy in South Africa driving his car, and then he was stopped by this South African miscreant and mobs. And you can see the police was not protecting him. The police was not protecting him. The car was attacked. You see these miscreants, this is a walking time, and they have no job. Their job is to spoil and destroy, and say somebody wants to take their job. They have no qualification. They destroyed his car, the police was there. And the worst part of it was, after destroying this car and vandalizing the car, the police now want to start searching the car. Maybe they are looking for whatever they are looking for. Instead of protecting him, you let them vandalize the car, people that cannot afford a bicycle. And then you start searching the car. South African government, police, and everybody are complicit of this destruction. And when the time comes for consequence, it should start with the government. I'm sure this guy has his paper legal, and that's why he was allowed to go. But his car had been destroyed. Who is going to pay for it? Nobody. You say you are looking for illegal, and when you see legal, you still have hatred in your mind. And that's how the kids, Lucky Dube, saying they thought he was a Nigerian because they did not expect their brother to be capable of buying flowers.
My South African brothers, where is your priority? You are busy fighting your brother from another country, from Malawi, from Kenya, from Tanzania, from Nigeria, from Burundi. You are claiming they're taking your jobs. You are claiming They are not contributing in your economy, yet these people have employed themselves and even employed some of you South Africans. Why are you doing this? You are saying they're taking your job, but there are some people who have taken your land. You cannot access Orania. You cannot access Clairefontaine. These places are controlled by white individuals who do not even want to mingle with you guys. They've segregated themselves. They are a product of apartheid, yet you are fighting your brother who has not even taken your land. Do you know your history? Have you forgotten your history? You can't access some part of your own country, yet you're fighting a fellow brother who just came to survive, who is also suffering from bad leadership. The thing that you must be doing right now is to hold your leaders responsible and accountable. You don't have to fight your young brother running a kiosk. You don't have to chase kids who are just going to your schools, public schools or private schools in your country because their mothers are from other countries. You don't have to chase someone who is seeking medication in your hospitals just because the person is from another country. You don't have to even chase a pregnant woman who just wants to deliver just because she's from another country. Recently, there's a lady in South Africa who chose to kill her own daughter just because the husband was a foreigner, as you call it, or rather from Nigeria. Seriously, South Africans. This is very, very bad. What you must be doing is call for accountability. At the same time, you should know who is a real enemy. You cannot access some part of your own country. Africans, as they call themselves, have taken Orania. They've taken all part of Pretoria. They've taken Clairefontaine. They want to preserve their own culture by not allowing you to mingle with them in your own country. And you're busy fighting your Malawian brother who is just selling popcorns on the road. South Africans, let us stop this thing. And you should not feel bad when you see other nations supporting other football teams. They're just trying to tell you know what you're doing to them is not good. South Africans, we love you guys, but please, you have to now start reasoning. And not all South Africans are bad, by the way, but the majority that are still doing this, and the good ones who are not even talking about it, you are also becoming part of the problem. Because if you know these people are doing what is wrong, why are you not stopping them? Why are you not telling them this is not good? This is wrong.
So it came out that the South African police, and I guess the military police, found military-grade weapons on a farm called Mooiplaas, I think outside of Pretoria or in, I'm not sure. But guess who the culprits are? Foreigners. Foreigners possessing South African weapons, South African military-grade weapons, assault rifles, grenade launchers, and other weapons, right? I think 2 months or so ago, the police intercepted a group of foreigners smuggling military-grade weapons, explosive everything into the country. Explosives, right? Not so long ago, a story came out of a Zimbabwean foreigner making South African military regalia. Everything with the flag and the SANDF logo, everything on that. Now tell me somebody what's going on in this country. And now we have the government spending 600 million protecting these people, for the safety of these people, when South Africans are making noise. My question is, who is planning what in South Africa? Because you're not going to sit here and tell me that South Africa's intelligence services, come on guys, you're not going to tell me they haven't heard something. These people coming into our country with military-grade weapons, explosives and everything. These people, I'm not sure, nobody knows how that military-grade weapons ended up on that farm in Mooiplaas with those foreigners. Okay, the story is still unfolding. We're still going to hear stuff. But I'm not sure if the mainstream media has reported on this yet. Because we know they don't want to paint foreigners in a bad light. Okay, because we are the villains. South Africans who are making noise, we are the Afrophobes. We are xenophobic when we raise these issues. And now they want to spend 600 million to protect these people. We are in for a bumpy ride.